right, guys, I'm hoping this works. So if you're new right now, I was having some audio issues. Story of this girl's life. Yeah. Thank you. And please let me know in the comments if you can hear me, because if you can't, I'm just going to bang my head against a wall for, I don't know, the rest of the day, because we got good story today. I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving this girl's weekend of all Meghan. Gosh, geez. I am starting to kind of feel bad for her. Not really. Not really. So we all were laughing our butts off, right? When she announced that she was having this girls' weekend in Australia. And we wake up today and it's hilarious because the girl she's having the weekend with is this chick called Gemma O. Now I got to try to pull her up because she a treat. Okay. This girl was a former talent manager. All right. Now I'm judgmental. All right. That's just who I am. I can't help it. I'm going to put her on El Stajo here. Put up, there's Gemma. I don't know if I'd trust her to manage me. Anywho, seems a lot of people didn't trust her because guess what happened overnight? All the news stories came out in Australia. Ye old redhead right there, who runs Her Best Life podcast, apparently is not really living her best life because last year in November, her talent agency actually had to shut down just overnight. Bye-bye. All right. Then it turns out in February 24th to be exact, this young lady, it was reported that she didn't pay her taxes and that she owes the Australian tax service $550,000 worth of taxes. Living our best life indeed. I'd like to not pay taxes, but there you go. And so what does one do when they're broke as a joke and need 500 grand? I know. Yep. You go to your friend Marcus Anderson. We'll get into him in a hot minute. And you go, Marcus, what do I do? And then Marcus turns to his other best friend, Meghan Markle, and says, Meghan, I've got a great idea. You'll love each other. And Meghan says, let's do it. Because let's be honest, both of these girls ain't got no income coming in. All right. Meghan, as we've discussed, and I don't care, all you Sussex squad people can come after me as ever, ain't making no money. All right. Everyone I know, and I know a lot of people, including some people who actually like Meghan. Okay. And even they aren't buying the jam. I'm sorry, the spread, because it's not good enough to be a jam. They're not buying any of the products that are made in Illinois and sent out under Meghan's label, nor are they buying the wine, the $89 bottle of champenois, or as we like to call it, where I'm from, Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, we like to call it $2 chuck in a pretty bottle. So yeah, those sales are not going that well. Not to mention Netflix out. I don't care how you spin it. And we know that at this point, Meghan Markle is the queen of delusional spin. I left Netflix. It was my idea. They weren't moving fast enough. Girl, please, and then all the other stuff. Of course, I had the story yesterday of the event. It's sold out, except it's not. It says when you try to apply, it says sold out. But if you want to be put on the wait list and you put your stuff into the wait list and you put like a little testimonial, and then guess what? They get back to you within hours. Great. We love it. And of course, they like to tell everyone, hey, we only want the right people around Meghan, because read into that, we don't want anyone calling her on her shit. We don't want anyone even saying there's a hair out of place, because she don't like that. And it kind of blasts through the old emperor has no clothes thing she's got going on in her head. Anyway, she's doing the event with this broke girl. This one. Now, meanwhile, this broke girl also had a podcast with another woman named Jackie O. Her real name is Jackie Henderson, but apparently she has delusions of grandeur. So she likes to go by Jackie O. But Jackie O, also a hugely unpopular slash, well, she's got problems. Okay. She ran a very interesting misogynistic website or radio show with this guy named Kyle for years. And that's the blonde. The blonde is Jackie O. The redhead with the look on her face is Gemma O. So Gemma and Jackie. Jackie bowed out. She was like, dude, I'm done. So now it's just Gemma. And yeah, so this is how I think it went down, right? Gemma calls her friend Marcus Anderson, who's, the head of Soho House membership worldwide. So he, his job is to basically just be obsequious to people who have money and who he thinks would fit in. God, I hate people like that. And Gemma's like, I'm broke. Marcus is like, wait a minute. I've got an idea, Meghan. And Meghan's like, yeah, I need some cash. Why not? A free trip. And by the way, this is my belief that the trip is being funded by the Hotel Intercontinental, which is hilarious. They're opening a new hotel on Coogee Beach, which locals like to call Poogie because there are such horrific sewage issues on that beach that, yeah, my Australian socialite friends were appalled. One was like, Coogee, Poogie, oh my God, it's going to smell like sewage. It's insane. Yeah, so whenever a hotel opens, they have a huge marketing budget. Also, by the way, that comes partially from the tourism board. So Australians, part of your tax money going to the tourism board is funding this BS. And yeah, so on this amazing weekend that Meghan and Gemma cooked up, guess what? So for 3,100 Australian dollars, you get to share a twin bed in a room. If you're VIP, by the way, if you're not, it's 2,600, and who knows what kind of view you'll get. But if you're VIP, you get to share a goddamn twin bed, which I haven't been in a long time. We're not going to go into how long. A long time. You get to share a twin bed with a stranger. A friend of mine who actually we talked about this yesterday, had said, yeah, I'll go on a wait list, and then got hours later, you're welcome to come on in. And the note also said, if you know of another girlfriend coming, let us know so you can share with her. Otherwise, you're going to share with someone you don't know. I mean, this is being run like a Real Housewives of Melbourne skit. I'm not kidding. It's like, we've got 3 rooms. Share with your worst enemy. And yeah, it's bonkers. So anywho, and for all that money, you get your breakfast included, dinners, 2 dinners, no lunches, by the way, 2 dinners. You get some yoga. You get a sound bath. You get to get a photo with your table with Meghan, not solo photo, God forbid. And you get the table at the gala dinner gets to be up front in the first 2 rows area. And you also get to partake in something called a disco, which I'm just dying. Yes, a disco with a bunch of people you don't know. Yay! Not at a club. On a beach that may or may not smell like poop. This sounds amazing. So yeah, this was it's amazing. This was all Marcus's idea. At this point, Marcus has had a lot of other ideas for Meghan that have not worked out so well. And at this point, I think she should probably be like, Marcus, sit to the back. But she won't. And she's also going because Marcus is opening Soho House Sydney at some point this year. Now, here are my thoughts on Soho House, because I was actually a founding member in the United States. They contacted me back before it even opened in New York, and they're like, free membership. And I was like, yeah, why not? I love a freebie. Fine. They're like, you're so cool. We want you to be like the kind of person that everyone, looks up to, blah, and bring in more members. Ugh, who knows? I was like, fine. I took the free membership. Like 5 years, 6, 7 years later, they were like, okay, now it's $750 for life. And at the point I was like, whatever, it's fine. I can deal with it. However, Soho House went so downhill, they did 2 major cullings of members because it just got so crowded and weird and just and it's super expensive. All right. So one glass of wine is like $22 with tip. It's $25. Actually, no, I take it back. It's $25 and with tip, it's $30. It's insane. So the only reason I really gave a crap about it was they had the rooftop pool. This is the original one in New York, right? In the meatpacking district. And I was like, yeah. So you go to the pool a couple times, but then you realize you don't want to get in the pool because the pool at the Soho House is literally full of pee because everyone brings their children. And also, it's kind of like Vegas. You watch it for a little bit and everyone's drinking, all right? And you notice nobody's getting up to go to the bathroom. Yeah. So I even stopped wanting to go in the pool. I was like, it's a pee pool. No way. It's like a kiddie pool. It reminded me of that South Park episode where this is amazing. The South Park episode, you remember like Mr. Pee-Pee, and they're at the water park, and if one more kid pees in the pool, the whole thing turns into a tsunami of pee. That's the Soho House pools, BT dubs. I've gone to one in London, same damn thing. So they call me up because I'd switched out a credit card. And they're like, well, we need a new credit card on file. And I was about to give it to them. And I said, yeah, hold up 1 minute. And they go, yeah. I go, I haven't been to the Soho House in 2 years. So I basically paid $1,500 for nothing. Now, if I sign up again, that will be $2,250. Or wait, is it? Guys, help me out here. What's 750 times 3? It'll be like 2,500. All right. And I said, so let me get this straight. If I go in tomorrow, I'm going to get a glass of wine, pay $30 for a glass of wine, but the real cost is going to be $2,530 because that will be the first time I've been there in 3 years. And the girl on the phone goes, well, I mean, guys, if you look at that like that. And I go, okay, yeah, I am looking at it like that. I go, forget it, cancel me. And she goes, but you're a founding member. I said, yeah, I don't care. I still don't want to be a member. We're good. Dunzo. And she got all freaked out. She was like, no way, you can't do that. Oh my God. And I said, yeah. She goes, well, if you do that, you're not going to be able to go to any other Soho House. And I said, well, I don't care. I go, I mean, I'll stay at a Four Seasons or I'll stay at the Plaza Athénée in Paris. Like, what do I care? They're better hotels than the Soho House. They're better places to go where the locals actually go instead of, like strivers, if you will. So, and also, by the way, no offense, even the famous people aren't going there no more. They go to San Vicente bungalows in New York and LA. They're not going to Soho House. So she goes, oh my God. And I said, besides, the only Soho House I'd maybe want to go to is the one in Malibu. And she goes, well, and I go, I know. You got to have special permission to get into that one. And I said, to be honest with you, I know the owners of Nobu and I get better seating and they've got better food. So yeah, go ahead and cancel it. She couldn't believe it. And then I hung up on her because I just couldn't deal with the sell anymore. But it's all really dodgy. And since Gemma O is going to be collecting all this money from this retreat, is the tax man going to be at the door? Like, what happens? Will the collectors be like, clap, 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 help me? Yeah, I think it's just really interesting. And It's not good. It's like 2 grifters, 1 event. We need to pay our bills. I know. We'll get some gullible ladies. I can't stand this. Let's be honest, guys. All these girls' weekend, girls' retreat, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of money involved in it, and very few of these places actually lift up women. What they do is they lift up and give the cash to the person who founded it. So it's kind of like, I support women as long as everyone just supports me. Come on. This just badonkers, you know? I cannot handle it. So when the girls show up, are there going to be police there? Are there going to be tax people there? This is going to have such a weirdo, beardo fallout. I cannot believe Meghan's doing this. And I also can't believe that there's no one scouting ahead for her. This is the problem with either leaving the British royal family or B, not actually having a competent corporate team around you that says, I hear you might want to do this. Sounds lovely. Let us do our due diligence and get back to you. They didn't do it. It was just, yeah, let's do it. You know, Marcus gets free publicity for the Soho House. I'm sure that the gift bags are going to have a lot of Soho House mentions of Sydney. Gemma gets her tax bill paid, and Meghan gets adoration, which, as we know, we love. I'm sure she's getting some sort of a fee. There are some BS reports out there saying $1 million. Hell no. Okay. No. The event's not even making 100, or I mean, it's not even making $1 million. That would be if maybe all tickets were VIP and it was totally sold out and sponsors pumped it. It's not. You know, at this point, Meghan and Harry, this is fascinating. When they left the royal family in 2020, yes, they could have commanded $1 million fees. The next year, it went down to $500,000. The year after that, it went down to $250,000. Meghan and Harry can now command a whopping $50,000, which, I mean, I wouldn't say no to that because I like 50 grand. But then again, I'm not married to a prince and living in a house that's worth $28 million. So I also am wondering what the American IRS is going to say about Archewell. Those of you who are on my Substack or sign up to my News Nation newsletter will be getting an earful about that this week, because there's some stuff going on with the Archewell charity that they shut down. It's now Archewell Foundations. Whatever. It's all dodgy, because at this point, a lot of people, and I don't know if you know this because it sounds good, right? It's like, I run a charity. A lot of charities are just money washing. They're reputation washing. They're washing of money. You give to me, I give to you. Where's the cash? Where's it going? And now I get invited places. Okay. And not a lot of it actually goes to the people it's intended for. Although Archewell, we never actually knew what it was intended for, except for do good. I mean, okay, I blew my nose earlier today. I did good. Can I get some money? I mean, this is insane. So yeah, there's tax issues. There's all this stuff going on. And I just don't think Harry and Meghan are being advised well. And I don't think they're being advised well because they don't take advice, which is a problem when, even though you may think you know what you're doing, you don't. And even when, like Harry's used to everything working out because there were teams of people doing the background work that he never met. There were hordes of people making sure everything was okay, so that when he showed up, he just looked great. And guess what? He and Meghan left all that when they left the royal family. Now it's just Tweedledee and Tweedledum jerking around going, hey, that looks fun. Hey, we can make some money. Hey, let's go do this. And they just kind of step in it. You know, it's like the Jordan trip. They're stepping in it over and over, meeting up with charities who have praised Hamas. meeting up with the UNRWA, which had 11 members fired because they were part of the October 7th massacre. This is stuff that it's not okay to do, and because of Jordan, a lot of people are actually wondering if Meghan's going to make a stop at Bondi Beach, where there was the huge Jewish massacre recently. It was horrific. All of Australia was stunned, and everyone's like, is she going to lay flowers on Bondi Beach like she did at Uvalde after she met with the Hamas lovers? It's insanity. Please let me know what you think. I need them in the comments, because then we can go ahead and do some more. I can answer all your questions. All right. And also, by the way, with questions, when this gets posted, what I normally like to do is actually respond to everyone I can in the next couple hours. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed. This was an informative morning.